Alright guys, so after creating our graphic organizer that we had due on Tuesday, I saw a lot of confusion about energy pyramids and the different types of organisms in an energy pyramid. So I just wanted to go over this together so that you guys can all see what kind of information we should have gotten from our video. Hopefully that'll help make the worksheet and the quiz that you have to do later this week a little bit easier. Okay? So before we fill out our worksheet, our graphic organizer, let's review what a producer, consumer, and decomposers are. Okay? So a producer is called that because it has to produce, it has to make its own food. Okay? So we've talked about different organisms before that harness energy from the sun to make their own food, and that would be things like plants, so trees, grass, flowers. They all make their own food by performing photosynthesis. Okay, so they're getting the energy from the sun to go through photosynthesis to make their own food. Okay, so their source of energy for producers would be sunlight. Okay, that's where they are getting their initial energy from. Okay. Next, we have consumers. Okay. Now, consumer, we don't want to overthink this, is anything that has to eat its food to get energy. Okay. So you're a consumer, I'm a consumer, your pet dog, a cat, any type of animal is a consumer. Okay. And where do they get their source of energy? Well, they have to eat food, okay? So they get their energy by eating food, okay? Now, decomposers. Think of decomposing corpse or decay, okay? Decomposers, they eat dead things, okay? They're similar to consumers because they have to eat their food, but they don't eat anything while it's alive or fresh, okay? So, like humans, if we eat a burger, we don't wait until the cow is decaying and rotten before we turn that into hamburger meat, okay? Decomposers, on the other hand, they're going to wait until the food is starting to actually decay and be rotten, and that's when they're eating it. So they're going to be eating dead and decaying material. Okay, so probably outside right now in your yard you have a lot of dead leaves, and if you've gone out there you might see some like kind of like mold look or moss mold looking stuff on the leaves. That is a type of decomposer that's eating that dead leaf material. Okay. Now, types of organisms. Okay, this is just examples. So name any type of producer, and remember producers are plants, so any plant that you can think of you can put here. So trees, flowers, grass, a cactus, okay, any type of plant fits here. Okay, now consumers, those are animals. Okay, any type of animal can be put here, so humans, dogs, cats, bird, any type of animal will fit here. Now, decomposers, there are some that are like insects. There are some decomposers that are like mushrooms, so like fungi. So this is kind of a mixed group. There's also some bacteria that are decomposers. So we can put mushrooms / fungi. We can put some insects, so like earthworms. Many beetles are also decomposers as well. Okay. Now, the last section, how they obtain their energy. So how do they get it? Okay, we have already said what the source is. Okay. Now we're going to explain more about how they get their energy. So plants, remember, they can't eat. Okay? They can't go to the grocery store and get some food and get their energy that way. Okay? Remember, they're getting their energy from the sun, but they can't just sit in the sun and all of a sudden they have energy. It's not like it's a solar panel where they're just filling up a battery. Okay? They have to change that energy. So they're going to change that energy through a process called photosynthesis. Okay, remember we learned about this in class earlier this year. We wrote the equation for it. Okay, so this is where we turn sunlight and carbon dioxide and water to make glucose, which is just sugar, and oxygen. Okay. Now for consumers, their energy source is food, which could be plant material, could be animal material, because remember there's herbivores, which only eat plants. There's omnivores that eat both plants and animals, which humans are a good example of. And then there's carnivores that only eat meat. Okay? So they get their energy by eating food, which could be plants or animals. Okay? And now, decomposers, how do they get their energy? Well, remember, they are similar to consumers in that they eat dead material. But if you think of a mushroom doesn't have a mouth. It can't really eat its food. Okay? It's going to be breaking it down. What's going to happen is it's going to grow roots around the dead, decaying material, and it's going to break that down. Okay? So what decomposers do is they break down. Sometimes they will eat, like insects, earthworms, they'll eat the dead material. So they're either going to break down or eat dead and decaying plant or animal matter. Okay? It can break down dead plants or dead animals. Okay? It's not one or the other. I really hope this video helps. Okay, please let me know if you have any questions. I want to help you guys. Remember, we have our worksheet due on Thursday.